contemplating what to say, trying to think about the things that would cause one that doesn't know about a journey of a young girl or a young boy that was pulled in or lured in or coerced, forced, manipulated, that had a sense to want to have somebody to love them, and the vulnerabilities that everybody share in that same space that got pulled into the life of human sex trafficking or sexual exploitation. None of the stories seem to be any different than the need to feel loved and accepted. Those vulnerabilities that lie in the heart of every child. Some feeling of abandonment and wanting life to be a lot different than what it is in the homes that they rest in every night. I contemplated time and time again, how would I start this? How would I say it? How would I be able to grasp their attention so that they can hear me? How would I be able to tap into the pain that I try to forget every day of my life without crying? But put power into it so that you can understand that we need to be the watchful eyes and the listening ears for the youth that are in our lives. I said, you know what? I'll start with my journey. It's the one that I know best. Even though I deal with countless girls and young men on a daily basis that have now been rescued, and also those that are still out there waiting to be rescued, that somebody would pay enough attention to know that this is not teenage rebellion, that I'm crying out, I won't help, but nobody notices. I kept going over words in my head that would be able to help me to be able to express my journey. And I wrote down in my hand so I wouldn't forget. Myths, misconceptions, mysteries, and mistakes. Those words are very powerful if you understand why I use them. So we'll start with that. A myth. It's a traditional story accepted as history. It serves to explain the worldview of people. Some of the common myths that we believe. Some things that have been told to us from time and time and time again. Some things as simple as the Easter Bunny, the abominable snowman. God forbid we say Santa Claus. But so many things that we've been told over the years that somebody told us enough times that we believed it. The biggest myth that I find in the sex trade is that people always believe that young ladies or young men come from broken families, single parents. They come from a place of poverty. They come from a place of brokenness. Nobody taught them any different. There had to be drug use and alcohol use in their home. That is one of the biggest myths possible. I came from a family that's middle class. My dad and my mom loved me. I never was abused at home. Nothing traumatic had ever happened to me inside of my home from my parents. I wanted nothing. I had everything that a child could want. The latest fashions, I had them. The newest toys, I had them too. One thing that I did lack was a sense of feeling that I was accepted from my siblings. The first trauma that ever happened. My first opportunity to feel as though I needed to give something in exchange for the love that I wanted. People never believe that that's one of the leading causes. Somebody that's closest to you tricks you in believing to do things outside of what you know to do, that your parents taught you to do, for the love and acceptance that everybody wants. Misconceptions. A view or an opinion that is incorrect because it was based on faulty or flawed or damaged thinking or understanding. There's so many people that I talk to in a daily basis that have no idea that sex trafficking either one exists in your community, in your neighborhoods, in your schools, at your college, at your job, because they don't want to believe that somebody could possibly even want to do something of the sort to somebody that they love or know. That misconception causes people to have such blind eyes and deaf ears to things that are going on around them because they really don't believe that it can happen to anybody in their family. It happened to me. My mom and my dad never knew what was going on. Everything kept being chalked up to teenage rebellion. She's going through a lot. And then divorce happened in my home. That was another reason for them to say, Nancy is just going through so much right now. Let her go by her cousin's house and spend time there. Well, that's where it all began. Unwanted touches, fear of telling someone. Unwanted touches, fear of telling someone. From people that was close to me, family members, those that were supposed to protect me, those that were supposed to be there for me. But they took advantage again of these vulnerabilities that lie in the heart of every child, that lies in the heart of everyone that wants to be loved and accepted. That was no different for me growing up. Through my teenage years, there was always some unwanted touch by someone that was close to me, a relative, a family member. Not knowing what to do or what to say led me on even further into things that my family, again, did not teach me. I had morals. Foundation was laid in my heart, knowing what right to do, but the misconception of believing that they should know what's going on with me. Why didn't anybody see it? Why didn't anybody see that I was crying out for help? I don't know. But I wish they would have. Mysteries. Seeing things that baffle and cannot be explained. We have a lot of things that I think about when going down this journey of life. And being a very vulnerable young lady, the mysteries for me was, how could somebody want to take advantage of a child, a teenager, someone that was only looking for love, someone that was only looking for acceptance? How could you possibly have any pleasure in manipulating that child to make them believe that you really care about them, that they're really special to you, only for monetary gain? I found that out really quickly when I entered into the life of the sex trade, being lured in by my own disillusions, being lured in about my vulnerabilities, and by that time I was fully addicted to alcohol and cocaine. I got pulled in at the age of 17, working truck stops, making money for a guy that I really thought that was caring so much about me, because I didn't realize that it was only about the money. It was a mystery to me that every night that we laid down together, how much he told me he loved me and he appreciated me. And he wanted nothing more than for us to stay together forever. Until one night I came home and I didn't bring back the money that he was asking for. I really found out what it was all about at that time. Looking up from the floor, looking at him with amazement in my eyes, saying, what just happened? What just took place? I thought you loved me. I thought you cared. One of the biggest mysteries that happens with those that are involved in the sex trade and those that are lured in from their vulnerabilities is the person on the other end saying, how could they stay? Why would they go? Why wouldn't they run away? Why wouldn't they tell anyone? are the very same reasons we entered in, because of fear, vulnerabilities, and that love we believed we had would now go away. The mistakes. An action or judgment that is guided or wrong. My biggest mistake was not telling my parents things that were happening to me. My biggest mistake was not realizing the worth that I had and that it wasn't my fault. That the things that were happening to me, I did not encourage and I didn't want. The biggest mistake I made was not saying no to the advances of other people manipulating the power that I believed they had over me. And time again, working with these vulnerable youth, I see the same thing. The biggest mistake is not being able to tell the person that you love that something is happening to you. You're being bullied at school. People are pressuring you into doing things that you don't want to do. You don't feel comfortable in your own skin. You don't feel comfortable with your sexuality. You don't feel comfortable with the things that are happening to you outside of your home or inside of your home. The biggest mistake is not to find somebody to confide in. Somebody that will understand what you're going through and that are willing to help by any means necessary. The biggest mistake for a parent or a guardian or someone that has influence over that child is to not believe them, not listen, not provide the help that's needed, chalking it up as teenage rebellion, chalking it up as disobedience. The biggest mistake that we have is not realizing that it could happen to any child, with the average age being 13. The vulnerabilities that already lie in the heart of every child. The cognitive delay of love that lies in the heart of every child, because the media and social media and the music and the entertainment world causes our children to believe that they have to be a certain weight, a certain look, brand name clothes, to be able to fit in. Our biggest mistake is not telling our children that you're beautiful and wonderfully made, just as you are. Money cannot buy love, but a kind word can turn away so much shame and hurt. Miracles. I was always told never to let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. So after I told you all these things I wanted to make sure I said, I saved the miracles for this end. Miracles that actually happen, a surprise and welcoming event that is highly improbable, an extraordinary event, a development or accomplishment that brings very welcome consequences. I stand here as a miracle, one that has been through so much that everybody could have gave up on me, but most importantly, I could have gave up on myself. I take every opportunity to go back over the life that I had then and exchange it for the one that I have now, for every ounce of pain that I had then to pour into every ounce of power that I have now. Power to make a difference in the lives of those that are vulnerable, yet wanting to come out and people don't understand. I have the power to change the mindset of others that don't believe that this could possibly be happening in your neck of the woods, in your neighborhood, in your house. I'm a firm believer that I'm a miracle because I didn't give up. I'm a miracle because I did not stop. I didn't let life circumstances consume me into believing this is all that I would ever be. As I stand here in this miracle space right now, knowing that I'm an executive director of a foundation that is a nonprofit that does nothing else more than get up every day to make a difference in the lives of someone else that needs to know that this really exists. And our hashtag is always stronger together. very grateful to be able to stand in a space that I can impart wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. How to be aware, prevent the tactics and techniques that happen from those that they're lured into the sex trade. I hope you guys remember to be the watchful eyes, the attentive ears, and the open heart to our most vulnerable population, and that is our youth. Let us make a difference. Thank you.